Welcome to Built for Confidence, the podcast where kingdom builders rebuild identity, sharpen clarity, and lead with conviction. I am your host, Coach Paul Ibarra, and every week we're cutting through the noise to help you stop second guessing, start deciding, and build with confidence right where God has placed you. So listen, drop a review, drop a comment, hit that like, subscribe, all the things, and let's get started. Hey, what's going on, my friend? Coach Paul here. Wanted to just say hello once again on this Monday morning. I've got a question for you. Before we even get started, because I'm going to draw you in to my life, the things that I'm working through right now, the day that I've had to deal with. And so my first question for you today is, have you ever had those moments where you're like, I just don't want to do something. I don't want to do this. I don't want to have to go groceries. I don't want to have to deal with clients. I don't want to have to deal with a customer. I don't want to deal with my wife, my husband, my people. I just want to be left alone because I've done so much stuff and I just want to be left alone. Well, that's my day to day. So as I'm putting these episodes together, I'm getting ready to go to Israel in 2 days from now. Matter of fact, 3 days from now. This is Friday, January 23rd, and this episode is dropping on the 9th of February. But see, I'm getting everything ready because even as this episode is dropping, I'm already back home, but I know I'm not going to have the bandwidth to be able to record another podcast and serve you well and show up in the right stance. And so as I'm sharing that this morning, I was scheduling out a whole lot of episodes and emails and midweek emails and drops and all the things and creating, right? And just getting everything ready so that I don't have to worry about anything as I go to Israel. And I started looking at my emails and I started looking at my Asana projects. And I'm like, there's something wrong with these episodes. Well, I had everything all misscheduled. So I took like an hour just getting this stuff together and like, oh man, you know what? I'm just ready to unplug. I'll figure out episode or conversation number 7. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow on a Saturday. I'm like, no, I got too much stuff going on. I got the men's group, ministry, all the stuff. And I still have to be a husband, a pops, a dog owner, and a podcaster coming to you and, hanging out with you. So first of all, thank you for listening into my little crybaby moment. But I think it kind of goes into what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about quiet leadership, people first growth, and sustainable performance. And what we're going to be talking about is why the loudest leaders aren't typically the strongest. Now, you might be listening to me say, well, Coach Paul, you're kind of loud, but you're a leader. Well, there's a difference. There's a huge difference in all of it. Loud is one thing, but being loud as a boss and trying to exert your loudness to motivate people, it's kind of misunderstood, right? And there's times when leadership is often misunderstood as volume, urgency, and that forcefulness. Have you ever been in that situation at a job, corporate, a business, whatever? But see, here's the thing. Loud leadership can create motion, but it isn't always stability. Now, I can think of a few jobs that I've had where it's been a forceful environment. Like the louder they got, you just knew you had to perform. And that's not how you motivate people. That's not how I've learned how to motivate people. Because here's the thing. Real influence is built through presence, not pressure. You see, when you were able to create an atmosphere of urgency with peace, clarity and focus with some grit, with some, what's the word I'm looking for? With some expectations of what the vision for the day and the outcomes are, right? But it doesn't mean you have to be a bossy boss. There's one way to be a boss, and then there's another way to be bossy. And not a lot of people really understand that concept, right? So when we look at this, that just breaking it down this way is real leadership. People will trust leaders when they're calm in the room. Now, I'm passionate, I'm loud, I could get things started. But when I've learned over the years that when something happens, if I panic, I freeze. Other people freeze, like, oh my God. So there was this one time I used to work for this place called JobRite in Akron, Ohio. And there were hot tubs on what, 3 tiers high, maybe 4, on these huge steel racks. Well, I went to pick one up one day with the forklift, and we were supposed to have spotters. We're supposed to have somebody climb up there, look, okay, stick your forks in there. Okay, cool. We're good to go. Lift, tilt. Okay, cool. I was solo. I said, man, I got this. I get up there, boom. I go up and I lift up this hot tub, and the hot tub, I grabbed it the wrong way and it started to tilt off the forks. And perfect timing, because another guy, one of the service guys, Chris, came in and he's laughing and joking. I'm like, dude, this is serious, bro. Like, this thing's going to fall. And he's looking at me and he's still laughing. And he said, okay, dude, like, breathe. Number 1, let's breathe. Number 2, put the forklift in park. And he's standing way away from the hot tub. He said, now just stay there. You're in park. Yes. Okay, cool. I'm going to go and grab the ladder. I'm going to get up there and I'm going to see what's going on. Cool. He gets the ladder, walks up there. Now he's directing me. And if you could even tell in my tone, this is how he was talking to me. And this is 20 years ago. I'm like this hothead, and I'm like, ugh. And then we get it down and I'm like, dude, thank you, man. Like, I was just freaking. He was like, bro, when things like this happen, you have to learn to just breathe, because the worst that's going to happen is that thing is going to fall and it's going to be destroyed. Its product. We'll fix it or we'll replace it. And that's one of the greatest moments that I ever had, because I was able to see the calmness in this person. And he wasn't even a manager, supervisor. He was just part of the service department, but he was a lot older than me. He had a lot more wisdom and experience, right? So when I look at that being quiet leadership. And here's what it really looks like. Quiet leadership isn't about passive leadership. Here's how it shows up. How you listen instead of reacting, how you respond under pressure, and how you consistently follow through. How consistently you follow through. How I follow through, how we all follow through. You see, because consistency, especially when you're calm, cool, collective, builds credibility. People want you on their team. They will hire you. They will bring you on their team to say, we need somebody like you that in dangerous situations, you know how to keep the peace. There's an urgency, but there's not a critical danger that's going to come out of you. And what it does is it builds trust over time. And see, trust is one of those things in life. The truth is if you didn't trust me, you wouldn't be tuned into this podcast. You wouldn't share this out. You wouldn't tell your friends and family, man, you need to go check out Coach Paul. Why? Because there's no trust. But you see, the consistency of courage and confidence, that's where everything begins to shift and change. So urgency and panic can only move people temporarily. Now, when something happens and it's like, listen, I need everyone to move now. That means everyone's going to move now. If there's a fire, people are going to move fast, but then that's it, right? But it's going to also exhaust them when they're under a radar all day long. And that's the cost of urgency in leadership when it's not curated properly. Because over time, urgency erodes, which rottens out. It's like rust on a car. It erodes trust, engagement, ownership, closeness, relationship. Because leaders don't lose people because of high standards. Here's how they lose them. They lose people because of constant pressure without support. It is proven fact that someone who is at a high-paced job will only last anywhere from 2 to 3 years, and then they're done. Once they're burnt out, they're burnt out. They will go hard. But if there's no rest in between, you're going to lose your people. So when we look at leadership, when we look at confidence, tasks drive output. But see, people drive sustainability. If all you are is task driven in your workplace, in your business, in your ministry, whatever that is, you're going to confuse productivity with leadership. Well, I'm being this productive. Yeah, but your team is burnt out. You need to learn how to delegate. Because delegate without development leads to burnout. And that's what this is all about. I take people from burnout to bold out, from spinning to winning, helping them reframe their mindset to say, you know what? There's going to be some tasks that need to be left at the wayside. Now, I could have easily freaked out and be like, I'm done for the day. Remember that venting that I was doing earlier? I'm just done. You know what? If I drop a podcast, cool. And if I don't, I'm not worried about it. But listen, when I say I'm going to be consistent and show up every single Monday in that Spotify, Apple, Buzzsprout, wherever you're listening in from, and I'm saying this is where I'm going to show up and I don't show up, what does that say about my leadership? What does it say about my development? What does it say about my clarity? What does it say about my consistency, right? And so we as leaders have to ask these questions. Am I managing work or am I developing people? Am I managing my podcast? Am I managing my emails? Or am I really truly working on building a relationship with you as the listener? So if you are podcasting, what is the mission behind it? And where have you prioritized efficiency over connection? Because we could try to be as efficient as we want, and that's very vital. But if I don't have any connection with you, if I can't share my story, my flaws, my hiccups, and my wins with you, I'm going to lose you. And that's not real leadership. That's not where God has us. Does that make sense? And going on to the next point, I want to talk about why people first leadership strengthens performance. It's the connection piece, right? First people leadership does not lower standards. I will not lower my standards. I may not have my background that I usually have, but I have my good lighting. I've got a good microphone. I'm not lowering my standards just because I had a tobacco earlier today. And what this also does is it also strengthens culture and accountability. This lets you know no matter what, I'm still showing up. You're still showing up. You're listening to this podcast. And see, people are going to feel supported when they're able to take ownership. When you feel supported, you're going to perform consistently. I feel supported by the downloads that are coming through with this podcast, with the emails that are being responded to, the text blasts that are being responded to as well. When people feel supported, when I feel supported, when you feel supported, you stay engaged under pressure no matter what, because you are my community. You are connecting with me and I'm connecting with you. Make sense? Now, here's the thing. Trust becomes a performance multiplier. Because at some point you may say, how do I jump on your team? How do I help you build Kingdom Link Network? How do I join Kingdom Link Network? I want more of this teaching. We just don't know, but it creates that multiplication of performance. Okay? And this is where we have to look at all of these different areas of our life. And this is what's going to build confidence for your life today. This is what's going to build confidence for your business. And again, I don't speak from a place of theory. I speak from a place of experience. And I also do not speak from a place of arrival, because I'm learning every single day. When I put these podcasts together, I'm learning. I'm learning how to speak a little bit more solid. I'm learning how to enunciate certain words. I'm learning to read the room in a local setting. Right? And so as we come to really start tying into this conversation, is understanding sustainable performance versus short-term results. Pressure produces short-term wins. That's what pressure does. Development produces long-term stability. When you're under pressure, you're going to win, but then you're walking away going, I don't want that environment in my life every single day. But see, that there is going to also help you to understand, how do we develop something that's sustainable? How do we develop a system? The same with me with these podcasts. How do I create something that is able to be sustainable, not just the podcast, just to hear my voice, but an email marketing system, some type of a funnel for my business, to where when I create this system, and trust me, building the system is not easy. It takes time. I'm currently working on building systems in 2026 for my podcast, for my business, for my network, for my ministry, for all of those things. But see, I have to be able to allow God to develop me and build that confidence, knowing that no matter what, this is going to take some work. If it takes me 2 to 3 months to really hone down in and polish up this system, then that's what it's going to take. And that's okay, because once the system is built, then everything falls right into place. It's like gears in a cog. You know what I'm saying? So I want you to understand this. Sustainable performance is built through trust, clarity, and consistent leadership presence. That's in everything that we do. Because results follow culture, not the other way around. Results follow culture, and culture isn't a nationality. Culture is what you build. Community, connection, collaboration, confidence, commitment, consistency. Now, I've got a whole bunch of C's. You know what I'm saying? Because here's the thing. When we are able to do these things in the dark, when we're able to create leadership in the dark, it starts at home. It starts in this office. It starts with all the Post-its. It starts with all the notepads. It starts with those mornings that I don't want to show up. That's where it starts. But it's showing up knowing that if it doesn't start in my home, it's never going to work at work. Right? Consistency, listening, and calm decision making matter most, especially with those that are closest to you. And if you can hone that in, you'll come to understand that the way you lead privately eventually shows up publicly. Because when you come to a person's home and you feel that stability, you feel that foundation, that's when you know this person got it together. It's not just something that they do when they're on the clock, or it's not just something that they do when they're online. It's not just something they do when I'm listening to their podcast. Maybe one of these days I'll have an open mic with me and my wife. Maybe we could just break down how we create that peace in the home. Let me know if that would be something that you would like to listen to, because I could definitely make that happen. And I just think that would be awesome. So here's some takeaways, okay? Identify where you're leading with urgency instead of presence. Take a moment, write them out. The second thing is choose one relationship to invest in more intentionally. Now that could be anyone, somebody, neighbor, friend, coworker, business partner, pastor, whatever that is. The third thing is shift from task management to people development. If you have a network, or if you're a group, a coach that has group coaching, shift from just giving out tasks, but develop your people. Lead with consistency, not intensity, because intensity burns out. And the last one is focus on building trust before demanding results. Ooh, that's a tough one for some people, especially as bosses. I want these results. Build trust with your people, and they're going to work double for you when they really, truly love you. So let me empower you right now. You, as a leader, don't have to be loud. Matter of fact, let's just shift that. You are a quiet, bold leader. You are grounded. You are people first leadership, and you create performance that lasts. You are building people well, and all the momentum that you're looking for is going to follow. If that's you, do me a huge favor and leave me a review on Apple. Leave me a comment here on Spotify or wherever you're listening in, on YouTube, Facebook, whatever that may be. Listen, I want you to understand something, that this is everything. Everything is so vital in your life. And this is where all things begin to shift in your life. When you look at your leadership and you're able to really, truly build and expand God's kingdom by operating at your most optimal level, taking care of the people that God has given you to steward. Make sense? So if you want to be a part of a community that is able to not only challenge you, but really dive into where God has taken them and wants to take you, then I encourage you, check out our Kingdom Link Network. All right. It is a private Facebook group that we are having conversations. We have events that are coming up, especially in Q2. We're building out this group. We're having fun. There's posts, there's engagement, all the things. But I definitely want to see you in this group, okay? Because God has something planned for you. If you're in a space where you want to be around kingdom builders, if you're in a place where you feel like you're a little bit burned out, but you want to bold out, you want to go from spinning to winning, and you want to build something that is going to outlast you, then KLN, Kingdom Link Network, is the place that you need to be. Okay. So that's all I got for you today. I love you. God bless you. I will see you here on conversation number 8. Remember, get out there, build some kingdom. I love you. God bless you. And we'll catch you on the next conversation. All right. Peace. I want to thank you once again for tuning in to the Built for Confidence podcast. If you have found value in any of these episodes, do me a huge favor, drop me a review, and also let me know which episode has touched your life. My passion is to help business owners grow, scale, and expand for the kingdom of God. So let's get out there. Let's build our businesses, share this out, hit that like, all the things, and we'll catch you on our next episode. God bless.